Okay, so we're live. Trying to go live everywhere at the moment. So today we are, excuse me, Facebook, welcome to the live. LinkedIn, welcome, nice to see you. And YouTube, welcome, nice to see you. And Insta, hey Instagram, hope you're doing well. So today, I've just started doing Instagram lives again, and it's very different. Looks very cool, but very different. So we're going to be jumping in. We're going to be talking today about a number of different things. We're going to be talking about how to get the offer better. Straight away, when I'm professional and forgot something, it was over there. We're going to talk about how to get the offer, a more clear, concise offer. Now, this doesn't mean it's only for solopreneurs or only for large business owners. What I want you to realize is that getting the offer right in your business makes a dramatic difference to what will actually happen as you go on with the business. A lot of people think that the offer is only to do with what you actually directly sell, but it actually gives you a huge amount of other areas in there as well. It covers social media, posts, pain points, problems, what people are buying, what people need to do, what they don't need to do. So I broke down, and I'm going to cover today in more detail about exactly what all this does. So if you like this type of content, great, stick around. The big thing I'll say to you people about anyone, whether you're a business owner, a sales manager, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, someone who's new in business, whether you're someone who's a seasoned vet in business, what I've learned about offer creation over the last 6 months has made up for about 70% of the way our offers now work. So let's just think about that for a second. I'm going to enjoy my coffee today as well. If for over 20 years, we've seen the involvement of different products and services and the way the narration of those products or services change, if you haven't looked at this in your business, this will give you a different angle. If you have done something, it's going to tune the engine up a little bit. And the majority of the time, that's what we're doing in our businesses. We're taking what we do and we're making it a bit better. We're improving it slightly. And here's the big thing. When we're working on what we're doing, what we deliver, how we deliver, the mechanics behind it, it's not just a case that do one thing, get one result. Sometimes you've done all of this great work and then it's turned around. That's the right, isn't it? Yeah. You've done all of this great work and it just hasn't quite taken off. So if you're selling at the moment, if you're a business owner, if you're a coach, a consultant, a solopreneur, and you're not getting quite the results that you expected or wanted, you're in the right place. Secondly, it's pretty normal. And I'll give you this as an analogy, which really makes a big difference. Think of it like a plane. Let's use this PlayStation controller. So think there's a plane on the runway, right? So imagine our little plane's on the runway and it's trying to get off the ground. So we're going to go all the way across. We're going to start on the runway and the goal is to get to 36,000 feet. There was a number of things that has to happen for this plane to get up to altitude. One, it needs to be a plane, right? It needs to have all the tools, the gadgets and the gizmos to get through. But here's the problem we've got that most businesses face. You can have a beautiful plane on the runway, sat here ready to go. But if that plane doesn't get up to altitude, get up to a certain speed with the right weight, it's not going to go anywhere. And what would it feel like? Imagine you're going down the runway in the plane and you're chugging along. That's a train, right? But you're going along in the plane and say that the takeoff speed's 150 mile an hour. Now, when you're going down that runway and you're hitting 120, you're not going fast enough for the plane to take off. But you are going fast enough for it to feel like it's going to take off at any minute. So what ends up happening? Well, this is the big problem for most people. I'm just going to move Instagram over a little bit because I can look directly at you. So here's the big problem that we've got. Most businesses, think of it if you're on the plane and you're going 120 mile an hour down the road, but the takeoff speed's 150. The activity that's going on would feel like it's going to be enough to actually take off. So the activity is going to feel, being the optimum word, like it's going to take off. It's going to feel like we're going to go. But what would happen if you kept going down that runway at 120 mile an hour, not going fast enough to take off? Eventually, you're going to run out of runway. Crash, burn, die, all that miserable stuff. The point being, if your business is going at the moment and it's not quite had the lift off that you expected, you might be doing 145 mile an hour, and it might just be one single thing that you need to do that makes all the difference within the business. And the offer is one of the really big parts of this. But if you get the offer right, that can add a vast amount, because it's not just what you're selling. It's not just the feature pivot benefit. There's so many parts to this that make a massive difference. And when I talk to clients, when we talk to potential clients, when we go into businesses, when I'm on the podcast talking to people, a lot of the time we rush all of this early stage stuff, trying to get those initial clients and deals. And then we end up with a business or a plane that's part built, that's not quite fit for service to the level that we planned for. And we all plan to have a great business. But if you built the business, and you've heard the analogy about the plane, build it on the way down, it doesn't mean you're going to build it in the right way for long-term growth. So the plan behind this is to give you today tools that you can use within the business that's actually going to help you get the business moving forward to the right way. So we're going to talk about the offers itself. Going to break down in more detail how you can use that. So if you want to write this down, save it, whatever it might be. We've also got a shorter version of other trainings like this that you can grab. Now, the reason being, do we want to grow as a business? Yes. But we're also at the stage that we're not desperate for the business. So we know that we can give you plenty of tools that you can use within the business. And there's a reason why. The first part, it changes your mindset and makes you realize that something new is possible, that there's a better way to do it. And the reason that's important is simply this. No one wakes up in the morning and intentionally does a bad job. Just think about that for a minute. No one's going off, waking up in the morning as a salesperson and going, today I'm going to go and do terrible work and really suck and get no results. But we know that people go and do that. No one sets up a business and says, I'm intentionally going to completely ruin this business. I'm not going to make any money. So if we know that that's the case, but we also on the flip side know that the vast majority of businesses fail, the vast majority of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs don't break above 30K for the first 18 months to 2 years. It's also fair to understand that we only can do what we know to be possible and we believe to be true. So what we do with a lot of these free trainings is break that so that you can see behind the curtain in a bit more detail on some of the things that helped amass over 70 million in sales. And a lot of it is not clever trickery like a lot of people expect. They think of it like building a jigsaw. Excuse me. If you've got all the pieces and you can build a jigsaw really quick, great. If you've got to guesswork it yourself and you've got to put this one here and that doesn't fit and that one there and that doesn't fit and this one here, that takes a longer period of time. So imagine that jigsaw And if the mission was to complete it as an effective way as you can, as quick as you can, having someone to tell you exactly what piece to put where makes a difference. Most businesses are like 5 different jigsaws all thrown together. You've got things that you don't need, things that you do need, things that you're prioritizing that you shouldn't. And that takes a long time to get things moving forward. And that's why I think this will make a big difference. So there's a number of things that you can do. You can take a pen and paper, you can jot this stuff down, or you can just sit, engage, listen, and think about what you need to do to get the offer right. So think about what actually is your offer right now. Now imagine if I didn't know you, no one knew who you were, and your offer was just written down on a piece of paper. How exciting, how much does it draw people in? How much, if I said to you, your offer is X, and you couldn't give any explanation, would people understand, who are your direct buyers, of exactly what that's going to do for them? What result they're going to get, what time it's going to take, who it's for? And this is the first stage for a lot of people out there. They don't even have that stage. And it's okay to not have this done. Let me just say that. It's okay for you to not have an offer that's clear and concise. But you're getting this for free today so you can get this done. Because this is what we want people to be able to do. Imagine this for a moment. Imagine I've got just written down on a piece of paper. And it's like, lose 6 kilograms in 10 weeks without having to run. Perfect for single dads. Obviously, I'm losing weight at the moment. Thank you for complimenting me. I want to lose weight consistently and effectively, right? I don't like running, and I'm a single dad. If I've got an offer that says lose 6 kilograms in 10 weeks without having to run, perfect for single dads, there is no doubt in the mind what this is about. So think about it with your product now. Why is it important? Well, you want to talk directly to your avatar so that you're not just getting random people message you. You want to have an offer that's so clear and concise that it stands out from the crowd. You want people to understand what they can expect by your product or your service. Everyone says the same stuff. Oh, we're the #1 company. We do this and we do that. No one cares. What do you care about when you buy stuff? Is it going to work? Am I going to look a fool? Will I have wasted my money? Is it going to? What's the likelihood I'm going to succeed? Is it going to be tough? The features and the benefits of the product come later on. So it's really important for us to get this in the right way. So here's the big thing I'll say to you right now. With your product and your service, how do you know that the people that you are talking to is the right people? Think of it like this. Let's imagine for the moment I give you a burger stand or a hot dog stand or whatever, falafel stand. What's the job of that falafel stand? Sell falafel. So now you've got to choose a location. Because it's a physical product, you have to find what? Where the crowd's going to be to buy the product, to see your product, to want the product. You've also got to work out when you're going to offer it to them, right? Imagine if I've got a falafel stand and I decide to set it up on an industrial estate on a Sunday night from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. Do you think I've just increased or decreased my likelihood of success? Now, yes, there might be an exception to the rule. Okay, well, they've got night workers. But as an overall rule, that's not going to be where the starving crowd is going to be. Imagine you've got a burger stand. You could put it outside a cannabis shop, right? That sounds like a better idea. We really want to think about when you're looking at your offer, one, where is the crowd going to be and how much time I'm spending there? I won't lie. Straight here. Straight here. Right now, we're streaming on Instagram. We're streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. We don't need hundreds and thousands of people to see this. If 20 people on each one go through, that's what, 80 people. If out of those 80 people, 20 people go, that really helped me. Shit, I need to have a chat with them at some point. Then a load will forget. Say if 5 people book in calls. Is that a good use of an hour? Yeah. So we're in front of that starving crowd. We're in front of a crowd of people that have a need for the product. Have you ever had it before when you weren't hungry and you walk around a corner and you smelt like a burger or a Chinese, whatever it might be, and you smelt it and it just smelled so good and you're like, I've got to have it. That's what we've got to do with your product and your service. But when people walk around the corner, metaphorically speaking, they automatically go, what's that? Even if they go, that wouldn't work for me. Or that's a load of BS. It's better for people to have acknowledged that under the starving crowd than to have not known who you are. And think of it like this. If you as a business owner are in an environment where there's another 20 burger stands, another 20 falafel stands, people, even if they are hungry, are going to choose someone. So even if you've got a good offer, you want to have a great offer. So when people are looking at the comparables, they look at you and go, if I was going to talk to anyone, it's got to be them because they're talking directly to me. So first and foremost, we need to go off and find our starving crowd. Now, next up, we need to understand what are the pain points for that starving crowd. And I'll give you a couple of things about this, right? When we're talking about pain points, there's a number of pain points that you can have. Pain points that they have. I'm fat and I want to lose weight. What's some other pain points that I could have around that? We're talking about me, so it's fine to be horrible. Okay, fat. Lazy, maybe that could be one. What's another pain point? Eat loads of crap. That could be a pain point. Tried diets before. That could be a pain point. So all of these pain points, we need to understand these in more detail so that we can talk directly to it. So once we've got the starving crowd, what are they going to do at the burger van? Look at the menu. What's going to happen with your offer? Now you've got them understanding what you do. Now they look at the menu. And what are they looking for? They're not looking for solutions. They're looking half the time to find reasons this won't work for me. So think about that for a moment. When you're developing your offer, if people aren't looking for the benefit, they are looking to find a crack in a chink in the armor, that wouldn't work for me. Oh, you got to run. Don't like running. Oh, it's this. But if you can talk directly to their pain points and you understand their pain points, they feel known, understood, listened to, and that finally this could be the one. So it's really, really important to think about this in a wider sense, outside of just the feature pivot benefit. This has 8-hour battery life. What that means to you, John, is you can go about your life and use your phone whenever you want. No one cares. What would be a better solution would be if I was buying it for my kid. And I want my kid's battery to never die, so they've never got an excuse that they can't phone me. That is more of a benefit because that's talking to a pain point I have around phones. Oh my God, the casing is so strong it can drop. That's a benefit. What's my problem? My kid drops the phone all the time. I spend so much money on screen replacements. It's a joke. So imagine that offer and it talks directly to my pain points as if you're talking directly to me. The offer spoke to me. It called me out. And now the pain points are being developed around me. It's going to make life easier again. I want you to think about your business, and I want you to think about where you're focusing in the marketplace itself, and why are you focusing in that market? If I look at what we do, we've got it up on the wall here. There's 4 main products that I have. And this isn't me going to start a pitch, by the way. We've got our Conversations to Clients program, which is for coaches, consultants, solopreneurs that want to develop a 6-figure business, blah, 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 blah. We've got the Sales Mastery program, which is for organizations that have sales teams but want to get their sales teams to kick ass more in a modern way that reduces friction and increases flow within an organization using manual and automated methods. Okay. Then we've got the Ultimate Sales Training Academy for single end users, and we've got it on a subscription basis for the large companies that have got sales teams. Now, that's our 4 products. That's not our offers. If I say to you that our offer is completely and utterly different from our products, it would make sense at this point. This is the problem most people with their websites. Your website talks about the products that you have, the product, the service, what you do and all that. And it's important, but so's the offer. If I tell you that I'm going to get you 3 to 5 high-ticket clients in the next 60 days, or I'm going to give you your money back, perfect for solopreneurs based in the UK, that's more clear and concise. And so you need to work out with the business plan of what you've got, what section of your market you're talking to and why. If I'm talking to sales, we've got 4 different sections of sales and selling. And sales is like saying sports, there's such a wide range. So we have to go down the rabbit hole to the precise pain points and problems, the right offers and the right parts of the industry within the right location to make sure that we get the right results. It's great seeing people here, by the way. Great to see you, Dale, and plenty of other people over the different areas on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. It's great to have you all here. I'm hoping you find this of use. Now, the next thing you've got to work out, and this is where it gets tricky for a huge amount of people. You're a buyer of a product or a service, and a lot of the time you like to think, well, I like to sell this way. I like to buy this way. This is the way I buy. Oh, I don't like it when people do this. Oh, I don't like it when this happens. I don't like it when that. And that's understandable. I want you to have your values, but I want you to think about it another way. Think of it like this. Let's get a board marker out. We're not going heavy on tech today. Let's say, I should have put a camera above. Maybe do it next time. Let's say this is all of the people that could buy your product or service, and say that you're a buyer. Let's say that you are the unicorn in your industry and you only like to buy a certain way. I don't like speaking. I'm about to use email. I don't like people to send me videos. I don't like voice notes, blah, 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 all this stuff. Imagine if that's you compared to the rest of your industry. You've got people that like voice notes. You've got people that like video. You've got people like email, people that like phone calls, people that need more than one phone call before they buy, people that like Loom videos, people like this and people like that. If you only sell your product, your service and offer based around the way that you like to buy, if you don't understand who you are as a person, not being horrible, you could be really isolating what you do as a business owner, as a salesperson, as an entrepreneur. Now, you might find it's the complete opposite, and you're just the best person that's so succinct with your buyers, which most people want to think that they are. And yours might open up the whole of the marketplace. But imagine for the moment, if I sell random stuff. I typically sell, I haven't got a clue anymore. Let's say I sell ambulances to fishermen. I couldn't get more random. If I sell ambulances to fishermen based in the UK, that's typically where my niche is. That's cool. But if the way that I brought, there's so many things that go on subconsciously that I would have not have acknowledged when I brought. The amount of times I've seen the ambulance, the amount of times I've seen this, the amount of times I've seen that, and my experiences and the articles I've read, and this and that and the other. All of those played a part of when I made a decision to buy. But the vast majority of those I am not consciously aware of happening. I could have seen a TV program about people making loads of money from it. I could have seen a program where someone had done it themselves. I could have read an article. I could have seen stuff on TikTok. I could have seen videos on Instagram. Could have been on YouTube. There could be someone I know that's made it a success. All of those things I haven't paid attention to. And I say what? Oh, I know when I like something. When I like it, I like it. No, you rely on unconsciously competent research that ticks the boxes, and then you consciously go, I'm ready to buy now. Now think about your clients. Think about the way they might like to buy. Think about the language they might like to hear. Think about whether they like to be spoken to very directly. Maybe there's a certain way of articulating things. Maybe there's deliverables that can vary across the board so that you get the breadth of your whole industry that you can utilize within your product. It's really important for you to do that. Next up, this is a tough one for a lot of people. And I want you to write down, if you've got a pen and paper, what is the perceived value of your product in the time that they have it? So say it's a service. Say it's a 12-month subscription service that you sell. And you sell it to coaches in the US in tech, right? So in that 12-month window that you've been with those people, what is the perceived value that your clients have had? Not the one you prompted them, not what they said on the testimonial, but the real perceived value. So for example, there's a company we worked with in the States before. And inside of our first 1 year of working together, we added $1.9 million worth of business by working with them an hour a week and using our platform. So their perceived value is that, but there's another part of this. Their perceived value is there, but also the perceived value is the long-term sustained growth they're going to keep making. So they might have made $1.9 million this year, but actually, if they bring another 2 salespeople on, that could add another 3 million. Actually, they can make that 1.9 million every year extra because of what we've done. So in 10 years, that's 19 million. Now, when you start working out what the perceived value is, because there's the lifetime value of what you do, but then what do they understand as the perceived value of your product or service? Some people out there will look at your product and they will only look at what it's going to do for me right now. Now, that's cool. But that doesn't mean that's enough to get their level of interest up to such a high level that they're actually going to take action on your product. Imagine I need to buy a new car and I'm in a rush. I'm going away for a European tour with my family. We're going to go camping and I want to buy a pickup. And I've set a budget aside and it's £12,000. My singular focus right now is I want to go camping with my kids. I'm excited. I need to get a pickup. I need to change it over. I just want to get it done. I know what I want. Now, if you understand what the perceived value is for me, but you understand what the actual value is for me, you can navigate that gap really well. Because if you're like, okay, so this guy's perceived value is, it's going to serve a need. It's going to give them a holiday, a month away, traveling around Europe with their kids. They're going to need to go camping. They're going to need this. It's going to be practical. Blah, 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 blah. All that perceived value is ticking all the boxes. And then at the end of it, you can also, underneath that, talk about the resale value, the low service cost, the fact that they don't go down in value, but they're low in supply and high in demand. So the prices might also go up, whatever it might be. So then you can talk about the perceived value, because that could be enough. And then you're adding the additional lifetime value as an additional bonus of what they've got. And for most people out there, the perceived value has to be more than the cost. Now, if you're clever and you do this in the right way, you can use the perceived value to draw people in. And then when you're in the conversation, if you're in the pitch, the presentation, the Zoom, the face-to-face, you can also, when they're really close and they're right on the edge of buying, but they don't quite go over, you can utilize the lifetime value as an additional part. But the perceived value has to be great enough to get them in. Because if you just talk about the lifetime value too early, it numbs it a bit, if that makes sense. I tell you what, oat lattes are the best. Okay. When we're talking about perceived value, there's a phrase before, if you aim for the moon and miss, you'll still hit the stars. So think of it like this. If I look at the perceived value, I hire a fitness coach and he says he's going to help me lose 15 kilos, get me down to a 32-inch waist, make me look good in a t-shirt and have a six-pack. So that's what we're talking. Now, if my worst case scenario is I'll get you to lose a belly, add a bit of muscle, you might not have a six-pack, but you'll look really good with your top off. If that was acceptable for me, and that's the worst case scenario, the perceived value is far higher. Because for that person, my worst case scenario, if we miss the moon and still reach the stars, and I'm happy with that, it's going to be far easier for me to make that decision. Anyone jumping into this, by the way, if you want to get a video version of this, you can just go to closedealstoday.com and it's done in a 32-minute masterclass that breaks it down in a bit more, an easier overview for people if you want to be able to pause and stop them through. That's closedealstoday.com. So then think about it like this. If I know that the worst case scenario is still going to be worth more than the perceived value, I'm more likely to take action on the actual thing that I'm looking to buy. The reason that most people don't buy is because they don't believe that the perceived value is high enough for it. If I've got a 30K program and I think the worst case scenario is I'm only going to make £20,000, there's a higher level of risk. If it's a £30,000 program and I think my perceived worst case scenario is I make £40,000, but I could make £100,000, but worst case scenario is so high compared to the cost that I'm more likely to take action. I hope you're enjoying this conversation so far. Okay, so when you're breaking all this down, you've got all your spreadsheets, you've got everything everywhere. I want you to realize when you break down all of the problems that you've got for people, you have to be able to cover all of those problems. And here's the reason why. Let's use me as an example. I'm a 42-year-old single dad who used to drink, used to smoke, used to drink a lot, used to party a lot. My fitness was horrific. At my heaviest, I was 18.5 stone. Didn't go to the gym, didn't look after myself, really not good. Ingrained in that lifespan of debauchery and craziness, I was used to and ingrained of not keeping my word to myself around fitness. Stick with me on this. So when someone comes along and says, I can help you do X, although I might believe you, the problem isn't just about you and your program. It's also about my ingrained habits that I have got. So for example, if every year, I never used to do New Year's resolutions. I don't know if you guys did. Let me know. If every year on January 1st, I'm like, that's it. I'm not going to go off and be fat anymore. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to be training every day. We've all done this, right? That's it. No more junk food. The booze is out. Health is in. I'm going to the gym. Everyone signs up to the gym. Now, if I've done that for 2 years, right? So I'm at 20. And for 2 years, I've done this. I've got 2 years worth of repeating the failures of giving up on January 14th. If I'm 42 and I've been doing it since I was 18, do the maths. Is that 24 years? 22 years. Whatever. Say 22 years. That's 22 years of doubting myself, giving up on myself, not staying committed, finding excuses, finding reasons not, justifying it, self-loathing, whatever else it's going to be. So if your job in your business, if you are presenting to people a product or a service that requires them to take effort and consistent action, and they are used to giving up, their perceived likelihood of success is lower than normal. And that's not your fault. But it's still a problem. And if it's a problem, you've got to be able to help people do it. So look at my guy that's training me now. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm a finished article. Definitely got a lot of work to do. But so we train twice a week. We do all round body weights. And I'm eating better. I'm tracking food, that type of stuff. Doing 10 to 12,000 steps, 4 to 6 days a week, depending on what's going on. I'm cool with that. I like doing the weights, right? Doesn't write me off. I do it in the afternoon, so it doesn't ruin my day. I like going for morning walks at 5:30 in the morning because I like being up for it. So there's a lot of reasons. So if you think of that as an offer, for me to get my results, doing the morning walks, doing the training in the afternoon, tracking some of the food, that all feels achievable. If that same guy said to me, I need you to run once a week for 40 minutes, I wouldn't have done it. And I don't need someone to message me and say, you need to fall in love with running. I actually jogged the other day for the first time with someone who's training for the marathon. It was about 10 minutes. I actually quite enjoyed it. I won't lie. But I don't want to sign up to a program that's 40 minutes running every week. I know my perceived likelihood of success drops off massively. But I also live in a world where I don't need that to make it a success. So what's the lesson? When you're listing out all of the problems that someone could face, don't just limit them to you, your business and your company and the product. Break down them and their problems as well. Because if you break down their problems, their pain points, what's going to hold them back? They feel like they know you more. Now, if they know you better, if they feel connected to you, if they feel that you are talking to them, if they feel that your offer is designed for them, their perceived likelihood of success increases. And if a perceived likelihood of success increases, what's going to happen? Their effort increases. And now if their effort increases, the execution increases, what's more likely going to happen? We're going to get better use of it. And most products and services are designed to be used fully. And this is why it's so important. Now, break it down in very simple terms. Get a specific, identify the specific outcome or result with a time frame that's relatable, with a low level of failure, and removing their biggest barrier. So we said earlier, what did we say? Lose 6 kilograms in 10 weeks without having to run. Perfect for single dads. Right? If you see that on an ad, all the idea of that ad is to do what? Click it. The only idea of that post, click it. So we want two elements. Oh, that could work for me. Or, oh, that wouldn't work for me, but I still clicked. Because the next stage is to then talk directly to them. Because imagine if you've got an offers page or a proposal, whatever it's going to be, and they click, oh, that wouldn't work for me. There's no way I could lose 6 kilograms in 10 weeks being a single dad. But I wonder why it says for single dads. All right, I'll click it. And then it says, are you a single dad that struggles with X? This is perfect for people that hate running, are busy in their lives, and I go, Jesus Christ, it's literally talking to me. Do you think that's increased or decreased the likelihood that I'm going to take that conversation further? Increased. A lot of people out there now, we live in a time of Uber Eats, Just Eat, all that jazz. We're used to having everything at the touch of a button. I was listening to an interview the other day with Ron. Oh my God, what's his name? Huberton. It was on Diary of a CEO. If you haven't listened to it, really listen to it. The guy who was he's head up at Ogilvy for marketing. And he said one of the big things about why Uber has been such a big success is psychologically, we've all had that thing of booking a cab and it didn't turn up. Or it turned up like half an hour late, 20 minutes late. Or you're going outside and you're looking for it and then you're like, oh God, is it here? There's that window of just uncertainty. What do we like about Uber? The map. You see exactly where the car is. You're sat in the pub with your friends. You're out to dinner with the missus. You're out with the kids. And it's raining. And the cab's going to stop out in the middle of where it's raining, for example. And you have to keep going out in the rain. Like, it's a bad experience. If you can look at your phone and you can see he's 2 roads away. Oh, look, yeah, he's driving at that speed. We've all done that, right? Yeah. And we're here. As soon as he gets to here, we're like, okay, cool. I'll walk out, straight in a cab, no time wasted. Boom, we're happy. That's what I love about Uber. And I never realized it till I heard it on the Diary CEO advert on why that was. They said it was something to do with, they probably come up with the idea from watching James Bond's Goldfinger. I'm not sure if that's true. But I lost track there, sorry. So it's really important to work out with your offer the pain points that people have. If a pain point of hiring a cab is you don't know if it's going to turn up, instead of being like, well, we're the most reliable people out there, how can you prove to people that you're going to take that pain away? Because that's going to increase the enjoyment of a service, the likelihood of achievement and likelihood of success, and it's going to make people happier. So you're going to go off and list out all your problems. But I want you to go and convert those problems into solutions. If you know every pain point someone's got and you can convert that into actual pinpoint solutions. There was an interesting one I heard before. How did they word it? And it was like a pain point for people doing at-home services for their car. And it was breaking down everything, like spilling the oil, getting oil on your hands, losing nuts, then all this stuff. And what they had done was made this package that it literally took all of the pain away. Double gloves, thing for the floor, this, that, and da. So for people that would be put off doing it, it almost gives them a harder way of saying no. Because it's not just you create a product and people come running and sacrifice based on what you do. People now have so many options out there that it's vitally important that you cover every single angle that you can to ensure that person is far more likely to take the relevant action needed and to get the results that they've got. Think of it from 0 to 100. The more expensive it is, the higher we want to see a likelihood of success. If I said I can do ABC for you and it's £50, but potentially could make you 100 grand, you might be like, all right, for 50 quid, I'll go with it. If I tell you it's £5,000, you're going to want to have a higher likelihood of achievement, far less pain to go through that, because you don't want to have spent all that money and have a high chance of failure as well. So it's really, really important to look at all these different details in there. A couple of final bits before we wrap things up today. It's going to be about 50 minutes. Again, go to closedealstoday.com if you want to get the full version on this. It's completely for free. You can also, if you want to book in for a call, have a chat, you're welcome to. I don't think there's any calls today. I think there's a call on Friday and maybe one next Tuesday or Wednesday. But hit the link, book in, and see what we can do. If I want to lose weight, I need to stop eating as much crap. Or I need to do so much exercise that the calories I'm burning off far outweigh it. But realistically, the idea is I'm going to have to sacrifice some stuff. Now, if someone has to do something which is breaking their pattern now, you might not perceive it as a sacrifice, but they might. And that's not well, they just need to get a head around it, as my dad would probably say. And that's not the way to be. You want to understand, how can you reduce the sacrifice and pain and friction that's going to cause someone? And to be frank, remove the excuses. Because if you can remove people's excuses, people don't normally give you excuses for the sake of it. They give you an excuse because they actually believe it's a reason. They don't see, people don't go, here's my excuse. No, here's my reason. So if you can take people's excuses or reasons and make them completely invalid, not from your eyes, but from their eyes, their likelihood of success is going to be higher. Their likelihood that they're going to take action is going to be higher because they're now going to have a belief in what you do. And a lot of the time, we will do more if we know there's less pain involved. We're likely to take more action. Whether we stay or not is different. there's an argument for a bit of discomfort sometimes that you've gone through keeps you in. But when you're trying to get people to buy, resistance will likely hold them back. Pain points can hold them back. So we want to work that out. So that's about it for today. We're going to be back doing more lives now. We've got a little bit of time out there. So if you enjoyed this, go closedealstoday.com. If you want to book a call, drop me a DM, drop me a message. Doesn't matter whether you're a solopreneur, coaches, consultants, and experts, or if you're a business that's got a sales team. We've worked with companies that turn over 1 million, worked with companies that turn over 30 million. Get in touch, have a conversation. We've got plenty of tools that you can have for free within your business, because if you're watching this now, we're happy if you don't join us for a year, 2 years. But again, we just want to see you get results. So we'll see you on the next video. Make sure you join and drop in, and it'd be good to see you all there.